What is up, everyone? This is Major League Gaming. So, for this video, I want to give out more of my own thoughts on how Nintendo handled the backlash for the Nintendo Switch 2. The one thing I will say, though, is that they have handled it in a way that I didn't really think was going to happen. As a matter of fact, they handle it really badly, actually, and they treated the situation in a manner that made me lose a lot of respect for Nintendo as a whole. Like, Doug Bowser mocking us for being too poor, quote unquote, for not being able to buy the Switch 2. Hey guys, if you can't afford the Switch 2, that's okay. Just buy a fucking Switch 1. Like, really? Really? Who the hell does that? Are you kidding me? And to make matters even worse, you even sat there with your pants down trying to fucking justify that Mario Kart World for the Switch 2 exclusively is worth $80. But from my perspective, and from a lot of other people's perspective as well, I just don't really see that being the case. $80 for a Switch 2 game. Look, I'm going to be very real here, okay? I didn't have a problem with some Wii games back during the Wii era being like $40. I know most of them were like $20 if I remember correctly. Like, most of the accessories were like $20 to like $30. Some games were over like $40. The Wii U games were about $40 to $50 when it was still a thing. $60 for a Switch 1 game. It was kind of pushing the limit quite a little bit, but $80 for a Switch 2 game? Sorry, no, Nintendo, you went too far this time. I am really sorry. But there is no way I'm going to waste 80 fucking dollars for a title that doesn't even look like it's worth that price. If you gave us like Wind Waker 4K with Twilight Princess 4K in like one cartridge, I could see that being a big deal. But for this, no, just no. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that Nintendo didn't handle the situation very, very carefully, and they have angered so many people, myself included. As a matter of fact, my mental health of the last week after the Switch 2 was announced was really bad because they did not handle the situation very well, and they continued to blame the tourists for it too, which made everything a whole lot more worse than it seems. For 30 years total, I've been a big supporter for Nintendo up until now. After hearing about how they handled the backlash about the Switch 2 game prices being $80 or maybe even higher, that was when I started to like really think longer and harder about them, and it made me draw to the conclusion that maybe Nintendo isn't really that they become so different. Let me just put it that way. It's really hard for me to talk right now because I've been stressing really hard about this matter for quite a while now. I'm trying to get this off my chest, okay? There is no way Nintendo's going to really recover from this very easily. They're going to have to work really hard to regain my loyalty for them as a hardcore Nintendo fan. I still somewhat considered that for myself, but that's mostly going to be going towards the more classic Nintendo games, not for the newer ones. Yeah, so it's like they really shot themselves in the foot with all this. It's hard for me to even explain it, but here's what Nintendo should have done, okay? When the backlash initially began, they should have taken it like seriously and just say, okay, yeah, you know what? The customer's always right here. We should lower the price and apologize to him for making $80. Let's make it affordable. We should, we should prove to Satoru Wata that we can honor his legacy. Unfortunately, they didn't. And what's even worse, they took a shit on Satoru Wata's grave, and they don't fucking know it. That's what angered me the most about you, Nintendo. You failed Satoru Wata so badly, and I don't know what's going to happen to you at this point, but you're not in a very good position. You have betrayed me so badly now that I just can't look at you the same way anymore. Now, depending on how things go from here on out with the TARS and everything, maybe I'll get the Switch too. But if I see things about the console uh, that make me hesitate to buy it, I'll just save my money for right now. If anything, the only reason I would buy it is because let's be real. I would only buy it just for like the upgrades for most of the Switch One games, specifically Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which are going to be free with the Nintendo Switch Online service, which is great. Okay, but you have to do the same thing with the other games too, not just for Zelda, not just for Mario, not just for Metroid, not just for Star Fox. I'm just pulling names out of my head right now, okay? But you got to do better, Nintendo. You've jacked up so badly now. I just can't really defend you in the same way that I used to anymore. I defended you so much over the last 30 years. I even defended you with the Wii U, even when it was failing. Okay, but even I have to admit right now that was actually a big mistake because I eventually realized that I had to give up on it. But the Switch One, it really got you back on track. But what you're doing right now with the Switch Two, you're really pushing it. If you don't fix this right now, Nintendo, I'm gonna be very straight up with you, okay? If you don't get your act together, you're gonna lose me even more, and you're gonna lose your customers a whole lot more than ever before. Don't make it worse for yourself, please, because you're gonna end up like Disney. You're gonna end up like Disney. I'm telling you this right now. You're gonna end up, sinking into the ocean like Disney is. Luckily for Disney, I've been hearing reports that they're actually learning from their mistakes with the stupid live action movies, but I don't really buy it because I feel like Disney's bluffing. But in your case, Nintendo, I'm gonna I don't know. I want to give you another chance with the Switch too, but I just can't right now. You have to do something about yourself if you want me to trust you again. Because from where you're at right now, you got a really big act to clean up. Like, change yourself. Don't, stop shutting down fan projects because when people make a fan project out of your IPs, they're doing it out of respect for you. Respect. RESPECT. It's not like they're doing it just for disrespect for anything. People are making fan projects because they want to be a part of you, but you shut them down like out of nowhere. You can't keep doing that, Nintendo. For God's sakes, fucking fix yourselves. Change before it's too late. Anyway, I'm not gonna say any more about this video. I think I've said enough about this. I'm really sorry that if my mental health has been bad to a lot of you, especially on social media. I know it said some really stupid things on Twitter, especially that people didn't really like, but I take responsibility for that. But at the same time, though, Nintendo cannot be excused for any of this. They need to realize that. This is Major League Gaming logging out. Thank you guys for watching.